I'm supposed to be at work right now. It's okay though. It's okay. See, that's how I rate my ability to last at a particular place of employment. What are your feelings on punctuality? You know how they ask, like, that question? I don't know if you guys have applied to a job recently, but sometimes it used to be on the paper applications back in the old days where they would ask you like questions for the manager, or like, what are the top 3 things that you look for in a job? Feelings on punctuality. So I think I'll make it at this place. You know what's hilarious is that I used to live like 45 minutes away from my job. This was like the first time that I worked at Steak and Shake. I ended up moving in with a friend of mine and her grandfather, who was kind enough to allow me to live in his house. And shout out to Pappi, I love ya. Rest in peace, baby. You helped me quit smoking. He told me toothpicks, because he would see like the very large collection of cigarette butts outside his house. I'm sure it depressed him. So he told me his ways, and I adapted, and I learned, and I made it my own thing. And I think the reason why I succeeded is because I made it my own thing. So maybe that's more advice for people. If you make something your own thing, you're more likely to like remember that. You'll remember, like, you know, doing it yourself. You'll be like, I'm a badass. I smoke toothpicks now. Speaking of toothpicks, I don't have one and I'm freaking the fuck out. What were you saying? You were saying something important and then you got off on this rant. Pappi, what were we talking about in relation to Pappi? Cigarettes, toothpick, work. 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 Do you guys remember that song? You know, it's funny, I said something about that song like a while back, like when that song was popular. I said that bitch sounds just like a duck. And then this coworker of mine like came up to me and she was like, you were so right about that. They've turned that into a meme. I was like, well, fuck. If only I were more with the times, then I would probably be like exceedingly good at memes. Especially now, considering my libertarian views. But apparently liberals can't meme, from what I've heard. I don't really pay attention to all that crap. It's stupid anyway. I mean, it might be funny for like a minute, but that's the shelf life of a meme, a minute. So it's like lame. Anyway, back to work. What I was talking about. Yeah, I was living 45 minutes out, and I was still able to get to work on time. Now I live literally 5 minutes up the motherfucking road and I'm late. And I woke up in time too. I'll wake up in time, I'll get everything done, I'll have everything in my bag ready to go, and I'll still end up being late. Because that's just me. I need my fucking toothpick. Hold on. Is there a cop behind you? I don't think so. See, sometimes I put this little strap, just to give him the impression that I'm, you know, strapped in like I'm supposed to be, but fuck you. I'm not really strapped in. You know, if you actually ended up in an accident, you could literally just like rip your fucking arm off. Do you know that? Just all to be rebellious, all to be cool, all to be like, fuck you, government. Like, really? Willing to lose your arm off of that shit. Not really. Dude, if I saw an accident, I'd like see it coming and I'd fucking take the bitch off, you know? Oh my god. Okay, found myself a toothpick. Thank God, right? Thank God. Speaking of God, I don't know how you guys in the Vortex feel about God. I think I've mentioned that I read the Bible like every day now. And it really helps me. But it really helps me because like I feel like the Bible was written for me. You know, I feel the same way about the Bible that I do like a Grateful Dead album. You know, like I just feel like, oh, this was meant for my ears. This was meant for my eyes. You know, and I feel like that's how people should interpret things. You know, if it means anything to them. Not to say that it wasn't written for other people too, but you know, it was really written for me. You know, like I'm the one that God really wants to positively impact. Okay, now see, God wants to positively impact everybody. It's just that a lot of people aren't open to that idea. And it's not just like the idea of God, it's the idea of good. It's the idea of like actual prosperity. You know, not just like making a fuck ton of money or, you know, being popular and, you know, giving a fuck about your image and nothing more. Because that seems to be a lot of people's lot in life. And, I don't know, I've just been reading a lot of stuff in the Psalms that is like directly related to what I just talked about. I haven't even gotten to the New Testament yet. And like the Old Testament is still pretty inspiring. I think the Old Testament gets a bad rep because like people act like Jesus is like the only answer. It's fucking bullshit. I mean, I'm not knocking Christians. I'm just saying that there's a lot of really good stuff in the Old Testament also, and you're forgetting all about it just so you can suck Jesus' big fat dick. I know he's got a big one. You know, it's Jesus Christ. Hey, I don't think that God would mind me talking about the big fat dick of his son, you know? Look, if he was like God's only son that he was willing to like sacrifice, I would say that his dick was probably disproportionately large. And y'all can say, you know, this is fucked up that you're talking about this. And I can say, look, I'm here to show y'all that God people come in all forms, okay? You don't have to be PC. Okay, God is not PC. And if he sent his own son down to be fucking sacrificed, like, I think that he can take a motherfucking joke, okay? So, and Jesus can definitely take a joke because Jesus walked with all kinds of people. And he was very understanding and he had a lot of empathy. And he didn't have a fucking Insta spam and a shitter and a fumbler and a fake book. And he definitely didn't have a centrist. So while you want to talk shit about, you know, my concept of God, like, you're a fucking idiot. Like, everybody has their own concept, and that's what's beautiful about it. The whole problem with religion, specifically organized religion, is the fact that, like, you lose that personal relationship because you care more about your image than anything else. God doesn't give a fuck what you wear to church. You know? God knows you're, like, a piece of shit. God definitely knows that you're molesting little boys. God knows what you're thinking about. So it doesn't matter. Like, people can think highly of you, and then they're like, oh my God, I had no idea that he was doing that. Yeah, well, maybe if you paid more attention to people and you didn't fall for their petty crap, like you'd actually be a God person, not a pretend God person. With that, I'm gonna go to work. Bye.